I want to watch the recording. I forget it.
Okay, so that's really a great observation, Jenny. Why didn't you tell me half an hour ago? No, that's fine, because we can record this bit, and I can make sure that I include that document and some information about the book as well as the graphic text. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an exercise next. I'm going to break you into little breakout groups to work together, and then you're going to come back together to give a little presentation. So
I look forward to seeing that. Thank you all. It was delightful to meet the two of you who are new, and to see Jenny and Josie again. Until next month. Thanks again, David. It was brilliant.
All right. Thank you, Linda. Great to see you. Lovely. All right. Thanks a lot. So, so I'm just going to have a look at these ideas, and maybe we'll try a couple of different things. So, did everybody else manage to see in the chat window the downloaded PDF of the Trojan horse story? Yeah, did you manage to get that? Yeah. So, Josie, I haven't uploaded it for you yet, but
don't worry. I'll download it later. It's fine.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll upload it once I put people into breakout rooms. I don't know.
Okay.
That might not work. Let me do it now.
Jan is trying to join too, I think.
Okay.
I think.
Yep. Let me get that chat window again. Okay. And just takes a moment for Zoom to understand what I'm trying to do. And it doesn't always let me do it.
I'm just giving her the link now.
Okay, I'm going to have to find a different way of sending those later, because it's just not working. But if I put people into groups with people who have downloaded the story, then you should be able to work together.
Can you share screen?
Yeah, well, what I'm going to do is to make everybody a co-host. And that way you'll be able to share your screens if you wish to. You don't have to, of course. So let me just do that, and that should work. Okay, great. Okay, so we've got basically 4 people, and maybe I should just put you into one group, and that's what I'll do. I'll put you into a group, and I'm going to give you a couple of activities. So the first one is that you're going to take a section of the story and you're going to act it out. Okay. You're going to choose some scenes and choose which characters you're going to be. And you can use the words that are in the speech bubbles to act out the story. Now, let me just share the screen to show you a section of the story that I think would be useful. I think it's helpful if I go back to the beginning of the story, because obviously a story needs to be set up, and you might not know this part of the story about the wedding. So I suggest that you could start with the wedding, that you could read through it, and in your group, you could actually do a reader's theatre. So you could perhaps just go round the group in turn, and the first person could read the narration, and the next person could read, "Here is a wedding present for you," and so on. So you could just go round in a circle so that you get through the story together. One of you share the screen. Okay. When you have read the story, I would say to about here, where these 3 goddesses are beginning to argue with each other. I would say you could stop the story there. And by the way, I noticed that this story is very similar to part of the story of King Lear. So we all know that Shakespeare liked to recycle stories from other people, and it just could be that he recycled this one in King Lear. So that's it. You're going to do Reader's Theatre, and then you're going to work out a way of acting out the first section of the story. Okay, simple as that, using the words, and if you want, you can use the images as well. So any questions? What I will do is I will also dip into your session just to see how it's going, but I'll try not to interfere too much. So let me just put you into a breakout room, and I'm going to open the room. So while those people are in the breakout room, I'm going to go through the 10 ways to use graphic text dramatically as shown in this book. So Reader's Theatre, which is where the students read aloud the story, taking different characters. You can do this round the circle, or you can do it across the screen if you're doing it on Zoom. People can also read out, as well as what the characters say and think, they can read out narration that appears in the story. So that's number one, Reader's Theatre. Number two is act it out. And this is where students simply become the characters on the page and say the words that are written in the speech bubbles. So they can present the story in sequential order, frame by frame. You can clap your hands for them to move from one scene to the next. Number three is in between time. And this is really interesting. It's a graphic artist has to decide what parts of a story to include. And the students here have to think about what wasn't included in the story and what might have happened between one moment and the next. So they could talk about this and improvise some scenes that didn't actually happen in the story, but they think might have happened. So that's in between time. Number four is interviewing characters, where they take it in turns to interview a character from the story. And yeah, simple as that. So they work in pairs or small groups to do this, and they can swap around so everybody gets a chance. Number five is tableau plays, which is where they use freeze frames to literally represent each frame of the story, and they retell it. So you could get them to maybe choose, say, 3 or 4 or 5 cartoon frames from the story, and to then present them to the rest of the group. If you're doing this on Zoom, then you could just do it with the whole group there and ask different people to represent different characters. One great little trick here is to get those who are not in the scene to switch their cameras off. So you just see the people who are playing the characters. Okay, number 6 is face-to-face, where you get the students to look really carefully at how the graphic artist has represented thoughts and feelings of characters. And if you look at a graphic novel, you'll see that usually a graphic artist really works hard to show different facial expressions. And the students can try and recreate these expressions. Inner Voices, number 7, is about the speech bubbles, which do not necessarily represent what the character's thinking. Sometimes you will see a kind of thought cloud, but here we get the students to try and guess what the characters might be thinking. They could present a freeze frame with the spoken words and then present it again, but this time they could say what the characters were really thinking. Number 8 is improvisation, where they improvise the story completely in their own words. It could be the whole story or part of the story. Number 9 is dance drama, where they bring the story to life without words and try and tell the story perhaps with music, and also obviously with movement. And the final method is storytelling. And this is where they sit in a group and they retell the story. Maybe each student tells a sentence or a couple of sentences, and they move on and try and tell the story sequentially with as much detail as possible. And this would easily be possible in Zoom or Microsoft Teams, whatever you're using. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. And now I'm going to go and visit my breakout group to see how they're getting on.
Apple argument came down to the three most powerful goddesses, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, asked Zeus to decide.
Surely, husband, I am the fairest.
Father, do I not excel in both beauty and wisdom?
But Daddy, you know, I'm the prettiest.
Silence! Would you turn the king of the gods into a beauty contest judge? Take your dispute to Paris in the countryside near Troy.
Though a mere mortal, this handsome shepherd is an excellent judge of beauty.
A shepherd? I'll have the simple fool eating out of my hand.
A handsome shepherd, I'll soon have Paris wrapped around my little finger.
Thank you, Father. Your wisdom is even greater than your power. Way to avoid trouble, old man. Oh, hang on.
I think that's it. That's it. That's it.
Is that
There's a
it?
bubble. Way
Yeah,
to
that's
avoid trouble, old man. Oh.
That's it.
I'm just going to give a bit of directorial interference, and that is that when you present it, you may have already been meaning to do this, but I'd like to see you act, and I'd like to see more of you. So just seeing a student, a student's face and reading aloud, we're not seeing much. So when you practice it again, maybe can you move away from your computer so that you can actually act out the scene as well.
Right.
Obviously, you've got to be able to read the words on the screen, which could be a challenge for some of us. But yeah, just to get a bit more drama into the whole situation.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you, what's the time now? I'm going to give you a few more minutes, and then I'm going to call you back to show me what you've done. All right, another 5 minutes.
So shall we stick to the same? Oh, we haven't really given each other parts, have we?
So you could choose parts next, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Maybe you might have more than one part, because there are lots of characters, but it might be good to have continuous characters as well who are played by the same people.
Yeah.
It's quite
So
hard
I'm
to
going to
work
give
out
you,
who, though, I think.
I'm going to leave you to decide whatever you want about that, and I'll see you shortly. Oh, there's me looking through my phone, and you all suddenly appeared. Okay. Did we find out who the secret Zoom user is?
No. I
No,
don't think it's
we
anybody.
tried to ask them a question and they didn't respond. So
Oh, maybe it. I don't know. It might be someone, or it might not. Who knows? Welcome, Zoom user, if you are a person. Okay, so yes, we've got a few minutes now, and you're going to perform your story for me, I hope. What I'll do is I'll switch off my video, and how do I get rid of it completely?
We still need the script, though.
Yeah, you're going to need the script. So should I share my screen with you? Is that the best way to do it?
Maybe.
But will I be able to see? Yeah, I'll be able to see you acting out, but in like little pictures. Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? It's kind of a tricky one. You can't do both. Okay, sorry. I was just trying to think about a way around that. By the way, I put into the chat window some Dropbox links to those documents. Did it come through to you?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
No.
Sure?
no.
Actually, no.
No. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to do that again right now because I've got them ready to paste in. Let me just get them again. Okay, copy and
Okay.
yeah. Chat window. Right.
Okay.
So there you go. There's 2 links there.
Oh,
And I'll also put them in the video description as well. All right. So if you can't, you should see them there. Right. Okay. And next I need to go to the story.
Hey, I've lost you. Are you there?
I need to switch my camera on probably. That will help.
Oh yeah, I've got it. I've got it.
I'm gonna. Could you see the story then, the rest of you?
Yes.
Oh, you could. Okay, I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen again then. Right. Do you start here?
Yes.
Okay, I am ready to see your performance. Okay, off you go.
Oops. Okay.
One
Right.
Greek king made a big mistake. He invited all the gods and goddesses to his wedding, except Eris, the goddess of quarrels and strife. Suddenly, at the height of the feasting and fun, Eris appeared.
Here is a wedding gift for you. This should make a beautiful brawl.
Look, a golden apple.
Me, you see, it says it's for the fairest.
Who says you are the fairest? Am I not the queen of the gods?
IDT.
Is it DT there?
Ah, this means
Sorry. Ah, this means trouble.
Who do you think is the prettiest?
I wouldn't dare to say.
Oh, sorry. If you ask me, it's Athena.
Who asked you? Soon the apple argument came down to the 3 most powerful goddesses, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, asked Zeus to decide. Surely, husband, I am the fairest.
Father, do I not excel in both beauty and wisdom?
But Daddy, you know I'm the prettiest.
Silence. Would you turn the king of the gods into a beauty contest judge? Take your dispute to Paris in the countryside near Troy. Though I'm mere mortal, this handsome shepherd is an excellent judge of beauty.
A shepherd. I'll have the simple fool leasing out of my hands.
I can't hear you, Katie.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm here. A handsome
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, we can hear you.
A handsome shepherd. I'll soon have Paris wrapped around my little finger.
Thank you, Father. Your wisdom is even greater than your power. Wait to avoid trouble, old man. Here's hoping that the shepherd is as wise as you.
Well done. That was great. I enjoyed that performance very much. And yeah, interesting. So how did you find that to work on the exercise? Did you find it useful? Was there anything that you learned or worked out or questioned while you were doing it? And could you use it again with your students if you adapted it for the right story?
Maybe, but there's too many in my classes.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that the English standard is terribly low.
Yeah.
Getting awfully frustrated with them.
So you need to have really basic materials for them.
Very
to work
basic,
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the idea is good. and I might be able to do something. But you see, we can't use breakout rooms either, so that's really troublesome. I do readers theatre with them, but yeah, it's got to be awfully simple.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they can't read it.
Okay.
Can I go to different sections of the room, or is the room not big enough?
No, it's a Zoom thing.
Oh, right.
Actually, I have Zoom and face-to-face kids at the same time in a normal setting.
God.
Yeah, I know, because a lot of the kids that are in my school come from mainland China, from across the border. So they can't come to school because they have to quarantine for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's a right pain. Now they're all on Zoom. This last week, they've gone all on Zoom. And actually, that's easier, but I still can't use the breakout rooms.
Yeah.
I know.
Could you do things like, for example, divide the group into half and have one half being one of the characters and the other half being the other characters, and they all actually speak at the same time?
Yeah, we do that. And I was doing Henny Penny with them last week. And that was quite good because we just basically told a group of kids, you're going to be this character, and another group, you're going to be this character. If they're all on Zoom, it's fine. If they're not all on Zoom, what we do is the Zoom group is one character, and in the class we've got like little sticks, and they hold up the sticks with the character, and we can divide the characters there. So we do it like that, but even that is like, it takes forever to get it started. I try anyway.
It sounds like a logistical nightmare, doesn't it?
Yes,
really.
Basically, yes.
Does that chime with the experience of some other people here? Are there any other little tips or ideas anybody would like to share about doing stuff online? Or even mixture of online and live, if any others have come across it?
Just a random thought that's come to mind. Would you trust students to set up their own Zoom meetings to work in small groups?
No, because, well, if they were my students, it would be different, but actually they're not, if you see what I mean. They're the schools, and the school's very strict. I mean, I can understand, but you see, it's not my Zoom meeting. I have to go to the school computer, and this is why it all sort of like.
Yeah, no, that sounds tricky. Yeah, especially with younger kids.
Actually, the ones I did it with were P6, so they're not that young, but their English is terrible because they've been away from school for 2 years, some of them. So they just don't speak any English. There's 1 or 2 really smart kids who do, but that's it. 1 or 2 out of 300. You know, a handful of kids is just just tear my hair out.
That sounds really tough, Josie.
It is.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, when things start getting back to the normal, then you'll be able to meet up with the kids and teach face to face again. It's been a really tricky time for all of us. Yeah. But anyway, listen, I'm going to finish there, and I hope that you can take away at least some of those ideas, and if not use them next week, maybe use them in a few months' time. So thanks very much for coming along, and I will post a recording of this on the Facebook page and also on the course page. So
I do like the graphic novel idea because you've got the speech bubbles. For that reason, it is really good. But I have to find something simple.
Yeah, there's loads of stuff out there, so I think you'll be able to find something. By the way, Jenny, thanks for the reminder about recording. And what
Sorry, I didn't do it earlier.
Oh, it's all right. While you were in your breakout rooms, I actually spoke to camera and went through all of the 10 different techniques. So I'm going to put that up there as well, so that that's a reminder. And for anybody who, wasn't here, they'll be able to hear it there. Okay, then. Okay. Thanks again, everybody, and hopefully see some or all of you next month.
Yes.
In the meantime, let me know if you have any questions or comments.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye for now.